everyone. Maria Venturini, Red Jacket Leader. I'm going to be sharing with you today about keeping your team engaged. And I'm probably the last one to speak about this because I don't do anything fancy. I don't have a lot of incentives, but my team does stay engaged. I promoted a year ago because a huge percentage of my team did engage. And when I did some reflection about why that happened and why I've been able to get paid at Tidal for every month except one, I had to do some thinking, and what I found out is I do have a policy, and that my policy is keep in touch, keep it personal, and keep it simple. The reason why I want to stay in touch with them is because it can be pretty lonely working by yourself in your home. So for me, what worked was feeling connected to something. So I like to call my team. I do pick up the phone and call, or I text them, and I stay in fairly constant communication on a personal level. And the reason why I want to stay at the personal level is because I have a goal. I want to know what motivates my team. And we all join Norwex for a reason. And most of us, I would say, join for the our overarching purpose of the mission. But there's always a secondary, even stronger motivation. And that takes time to develop. So what I started doing about a year ago, I started keeping it started as an interview, and then it starts out, just keeping a record of our conversations. And my conversation usually starts with, my go-to question is, hey, how are you loving your Norwex business? How are you loving the products? And getting them to talk about what they love. But what ends up happening, we also start talking about what's holding you back. And that's valuable because sometimes they, or we even, don't know what really motivates us until we start thinking about it at a deeper level and processing, and also what's holding us back. And sometimes those conversations, they, like Susie Reed says, you don't know your why until you cry. Sometimes that does happen. There's a process, and they ended up finding out, oh my gosh, this is what really motivates me, or this is the real reason why what's holding me back. And so if I'm not logging this down and finding it quickly, and I don't talk to my team, except for maybe every, 4, 5, 6 months, because the majority of my team, they're very casual consultants. They only want me to contact them every 6 months. And so it's a lot of information for me to hold. So how do I keep that information organized? Well, first of all, this team interview comes from Linda Sturtevant, but if you're not part of that training, the form document that Norwex has and that Kathy Mitchell trains on, that works perfectly. So use that one. And just jot down what the part of the conversation of what's going on, and then you have to have a system where when I'm talking to them, I can quickly access it. So what I first started doing is putting it all in a binder. And the problem with that is that it didn't work for me because it was too cumbersome. Remember I was talking to you about my motto, keep in touch, keep it personal, and keep it very simple. This was not simple, a simple way to keep my information about my team. I had to open up the binder. I had to make sure the paper was hole punched. I had to open up the rings. I had to make sure that it was in order that I could quickly flip through and find the document I needed. It usually meant having them in alphabetical order, which wasn't happening. So I started thinking, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll put pockets in the binder. And you're saying, Maria, yeah, that's of course. And guess what? That didn't work for me either because there was still too many steps. It wasn't simple yet simple enough for me. I had to make sure that they went back in the pocket in the right order. When I opened up the binder, sometimes it took up too much space, which kept me from finding other papers over on my messy desk. And sometimes I got lazy and I would put the papers, just slide them in there. So when I grabbed the binder, everything would fall all over the place. So this was not working. I had to scrap that whole idea about a binder. And so I had to, start thinking, okay, what is easy and simple? And this is what I came up with. I ended up buying an organizer and putting hanging folders and label them A through Z so that everybody I can quickly find it based on their name. And 2 steps, pick it up, write on it, and put it back. It's not taking up any extra space in my, okay, see what I mean? I have to put it back in my desk. And I have one for step 1, step 2, step 3, so that I know who my new recruits are and what step they're on. And then I have another one that says interview here. And that one has the papers, as you see here, of the team members that I'm going to be contacting in, in the next few days or weeks, depending on what my purpose is for that. And that I have found has worked really well for me because of the wheels. They can kind of go with me wherever I'm at and wherever I need it. So again, let me reiterate, make a system that's simple for you, that helps you stay in touch, and it keeps it at a personal level so that you can gather the really important stuff that you can use with your team to keep them connected, keep them engaged. And I wrote down here, the interview process and going at a deeper level helps them and me bring to the surface a clarity as to what's motivating them and what's holding them back. And when I pick up the paper 4 months later, we can, move forward in a very deliberate manner instead of rehashing everything out. And if we are rehashing, it's because we need to touch base. Okay, what's happened since then? How are you loving your business today? How are you loving your products? What are your goals for you in the next 6 months? Because sometimes they do change, and unless I have that conversation, that interview with my team, I won't know. And sometimes they may not know either. They might just take it for granted. So I'm hoping this information is helpful. If you have any questions, just jot them down. And somebody tag me because I may not see it. So have a great day, and I hope you have a great engagement month in December. I'll talk to you later. Ciao.